Hello, ladies. I'm a little bit late. One second. I'm trying to open up some stuff on this screen. I couldn't get everything as I planned organized in the way in which I truly wanted to go about this. And so hopefully you guys that are able to just catch the replay can just catch the replay. Hey, Kenya. Give me 1 second. I want to open up this screen. I thought that I would be able to do a shared screen through this live. That's an arena that I don't quite know about, so that needs to go on my to-do list is finding someone to help me with this part. Hey, sis. Hey, Monisha. So I'm going to log into this system that I want to talk you guys through in a second. Okay, so before we get into the system itself, I would like to just share a little bit about who I am, what my company does, and how we service the community so that you better understand me as a business owner. My name is Kenya Nicole, and of course, I'm the lead builder of Kenya Nicole and the Business Builder team, and we are Houston's premier business development game changers. Originally, when I began in this industry, I started off as just being an entrepreneur who, I wouldn't even really say an entrepreneur. I'd say more of an educator to those in the entrepreneur arena. And my whole thing was I just wanted to help small business owners not make the same mistake that I had made in business. A few years ago, I started my own production company. And in the midst of me having my own production company, I ended up being sued, you guys, and I was taking on the Judge Mathis show. And in the midst of all of this, online, my business success, it looked extraordinary because online, it always looked like you're winning online. But behind the scenes, I was dealing with some stuff. And so one of my cast members that was in my production, she ended up suing me because we had a situation where we did not agree upon the way that things were happening. And in the midst of that, wait a minute, I gotta take this out of my mouth. In the midst of that, I end up losing my stepbrother, he was killed by his best friend. So I got all this personal stuff going on in my life. And in the midst of the personal, I still needed to deal with business. And so, 1 second, I'm going to plug this phone up because I couldn't attach the computer. I didn't know what I was doing, y'all. And so, in the midst of all of that, I'm debating with this cast member over $200. And so, instead of understanding my situation, because she wasn't there when I paid everyone else, she didn't show up. And so, she decided to go to social media and tell everyone on social media to not do business with me, that I was a shady business person and I did not pay her, blase, blase. I have been having issues with this lady from the beginning of the production, and I didn't get rid of her. I wanted to hold on to her because I saw her talent, but her character didn't align with what I needed, but I held on to her because of her talent. I'm going somewhere with this, okay? And so she ended up being an issue for me. And so when I ended up being contacted by the Judge Mathis show, I flew out there. None of my team wanted to go with me, you know, because Judge Mathis is so hard on everyone. So I went alone. And when I got there, I just owned it because I allowed my personal feelings to interfere with doing good business, because even though I did not like what she had done, I made a contractual agreement with her that I would hold my end of the bargain, which was to pay her, even if I didn't like the fact that she went to social media and said the things that she said. And so while I was there, I ended up apologizing to her. And when I got back to my hotel room that night, I decided that I wanted to just have this conversation with God and just let him know that moving forward, what I did not want to look like a public success, but be a private failure. So that shifted, that was my pivot moment right there. Because originally I was in school for business and I just wanted to have my degree so that I could run a successful salon slash spa, because I have cosmetology background. but that was not God's plan. So when this happened to me, it just dawned on me that I had all this talent, I had all this creativeness about myself, but what I lacked was the business know-how and those certain morals and things like that, and just having things in proper alignment when it comes to doing really great business. Those things that are integral, those things that are binding, like really great contracts and processes and procedures. I didn't have any of that. And so I began to think about how many other business owners out there who may have the talent, may have the skill set, may have the know-how, but not the business acumen to really do really great business. And so I shifted at that point. I decided that I wanted to help those people who may have been as myself, and just, talented and creative, and just, taking that leap of faith and starting their business. And so I wanted to help them not make those same mistakes. And so over the years, as I've grown, my vision for business has also evolved. And so originally, I wanted to do this by myself. And once I saw the issues that was coming, from all of that, I realized that there is no such thing as doing business by yourself. I don't care how much of it is automated. You still need a team of people. Hey, Leah. And so, with that being said, over this last year and a half, what I've done is I've utilized resources, because for me, I try to implement those things that I see corporations do. Corporations do not waste money. Corporations pay for what they must, and they resource whatever they can. They take advantage of opportunities and relationships that are governed by the government, because the government is always looking for ways to recycle their tax dollars, right? And so I began to look at ways in which I could create an outline and an onboarding for what I wanted my team dynamic to look like. And how I would put this team together. And then one of my other concerns was, how can I put my team in place when my business has not yet become scalable to where there's consistent cash flow? Because there's a difference between profit and cash flow. And a business needs cash flow in order to continue to operate, okay? Profit and cash flow are not the same. And so based on where I was with cash flow, and I finally had grown into this place that I no longer wanted to take on those clients that I felt were not aligned with my long-term goals. I wanted to be able to have the option of choosing who I work with. And in order for me to do that, I had to be very strategic and creative and resourceful in establishing my team dynamic. And so what I did was I partnered with my local workforce community here, and the workforce has programs called Work-Based Learning. They have OJT. They have all these amazing programs that a lot of small business owners are not aware of. And so with their Work-Based Learning program, I discovered that I would be able to bring in a team of individuals that they would require for me to train. And while training these individuals to be able to go in and learn some logistics from jobs that they typically wouldn't be able to walk in off the street and obtain, that would give me the opportunity to test out my own model before I bring in actual human capital and be fully responsible for the overhead, okay? And so I put this plan in place, and I began to utilize this process. And some of you who may have followed my business online, you may have seen me switching out people, and you're like, well, why nobody's sticking with her, baby? Them people didn't come here to stay. Those people came here for a 4-month training and received what they needed to receive, and then I'm able to cycle them out and recycle more in. And if in the training process I end up developing someone to, that really understands our business culture and what I need executed service-wise, then I have the option to keep them and transition them over into another program with Work-Based Learning called OJT. Okay, so in the midst of all of this, what I discovered was I was out on tour with one of my online clients that you guys know I talk about all the time, Miss Melanie Hill. I was out on tour with Miss Hill, and so at that point I went ahead and I hired staff, like actual W-2 staff. However, the people that I placed in position, hey Charmaine, the people that I placed in position, I had these expectations. I'm sorry, someone interfered in my live, you guys. And so I had these expectations, and my people were not quite prepared to deliver. And so while I was out on tour, I would come back and certain things were not being done. And it was always, well, I thought you wanted me to do this. And well, I thought you wanted me to do this. And so such and such didn't do their part. And so I couldn't deliver on my end because this one didn't do that. And I'm like, okay, I got a lot of excuses, and so I'm going to give people the opportunity to rectify the situation. It was what I was doing. And so upon all of this, what I discovered was I needed something a little bit more systematic to hold my team accountable. In the process of this, I began to look up software that I could utilize for said system need. And so, of course, many of you right now may be using 17 Hats. And so 17 Hats is really great for those who are solopreneurs and that are needing something a little bit not so complicated to streamline your process, because maybe you have just enough clientele that you can handle these clients yourself. You're able to do your contracts. You're able to create a workflow and all of that. However, as you evolve, there are certain things that you're going to need in business that 17 Hats would not be able to fulfill for you. And so I discovered this as I began to grow and evolve my team dynamic. And so if Monisha's still on the live, Monisha's responsible for redeveloping and rebuilding our website. And so upon me working with Monisha, I ended up buying my own cPanel, right? I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know that I purchased my own cPanel. I didn't even know what a cPanel was at the time. Okay, but before I get into the cPanel, what I did was I began looking at systems that could be utilized. And so how many of you are familiar with Agile? Are any of you familiar with Agile? Monisha said about a whole server. Are any of you familiar with Agile? How many of you are familiar with Salesforce? I know everyone should be familiar with Salesforce. Someone is trying to come visit me at my suite, you guys, and they're telling me that they're lost and people are out to lunch. Okay, so you're not familiar with Salesforce. These are CRMs, which are customer relationship management programs. And so, hello, Shawana. These are customer relationship management programs that are utilized to assist you in your marketing. You are able to basically add tickets inside so that you can ticket out specific to-do items to your staff. You are also able to utilize it to go in and program like social media posts. You're able to do so much with Salesforce and with Agile. You're able to really, really run your entire business process if you are a professional service-based business. And so the thing about those softwares, however, are they are extremely expensive, right? 17 Hats is very, very affordable, but programs such as Salesforce and Agile are extremely expensive. And for each team member that is added into the software, there's an additional fee. And so after 90 days of utilizing Agile, I discovered that I was almost at $1,400 a month just to use the system, which made absolutely no sense, because remember what I said earlier, that a business requires cash flow, not just profit, okay? And so that was taking a big bite into operation costs. And so I just went out on a whim and I said, I told my team, I said, well, if you have companies as such as Agile, you have companies as such as Salesforce, you have companies as such as Monday.com, I think that's one of them, but it's not as specific and systematic as the two that I just said. Agile and Salesforce are top of the tier, right? And I said, if they were able to create their own system that allows me to go inside, utilize the system to use for my business business needs, I wonder if I could utilize that same concept within my own business process. Because one of the things that I ended up developing with my team was, and HoneyBook as well. And so one of the things I ended up developing with my team was our welcome kit for our clients, so that the clients could actually see the scope of services. Because what I found was that there was a lot of scope creep. When you are working with clients, you initiate a quote for a specific thing, a specific task, and a specific delivery in which needs to be done. However, in the process of that, when you are new to business, it seems like you bite off more than you can chew, because you want so hard to prove that you're valuable and you're worth it in the market, and you can do that which others can't do. So you begin to you begin to do and agree to do things that are out of the scope of service. And so they call that scope creep. And so once scope creep comes in, you find yourself at 120 days on a project that was initially 90 days, or a project that was initially 60 days. And so now here you are at 100 days because you've agreed to do these extra services, trying to show your value, but it takes away your time, because your time is your most prized possession. No one can really pay you for your time at the end of the day. No one can really pay you for your talent at the end of the day. What they can do is value it. And so in the process of that, I discovered that we were not being valued at the rate in which I wanted us to be valued at. So we put this welcome kit together. We put this scope of the services together. We put within the scope of the services the to-do items on our end, and then the to-do items on our client's end, things that the client still had to do. And then also we added the Q&A, the frequently asked questions inside of it, so that, can I call you all the time? That would be amazing. However, because we have additional clients, we cannot blah, 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 blah. Our hours of operation are blah, 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 blah. You can expect a return call within 24 hours when you have additional questions. This is the process in which you need to submit certain things. If I want to add this, can I add that? That will be great. However, if it goes outside of the scope of services, that's an additional fee. Those were some of the things we had to start doing with the welcome kit, right? And so that was addressing my issues with the clients. But I needed to address issues with my human capital, which was my team, because at the end of the day, I pride myself on delivering really great service. I like to do what I don't overpromise, but I like to over-deliver and not under-deliver. And it's a way to do that without minimizing your worth. And so once I discovered that, it became imperative that I teach that to my team. And so, I got guests, you guys. I'm just talking. And so in the process of that, Monisha told me that I bought a whole cPanel, right? So I went on LinkedIn and I made a post, and I shared on LinkedIn that I was looking for a developer who could create me my own system. And so I had about 7 or 8 people respond to me. When you pay for the Premier service on LinkedIn, it opens up a plethora of contacts for you. It's only $59.99 a month, and it's worth it. Or you can pay the $500 and something up front. It's totally worth it, you guys. The free version of LinkedIn will not serve you as you should be served, okay? And so in the process of that, I connected with someone who was able to create my system. And so I what I discovered in utilization of the systems with Agile and with Salesforce was I had to go in and learn how to make their operations work with my operation. And that was always an issue for me. And so when I talked with the individual that I ended up selecting to work with me to build my own system, the first thing he said was, since you already own a cPanel, I can build your CRM on your own cPanel. So the benefit of that was he was going to customize it to my own experience for my clients so that my staff can also work it based on our actual services that we provide, and we won't have to go in and try to learn from scratch someone else's process and then try to figure out how to make our process work with what they had in place, right? And so with that being said, he created my own CRM for me. I had to send over all of the services in which we provide. I had to send over all of the positions in which I had within my team dynamic. So we restructured our org chart, added the new positions that I look forward to fulfilling, the positions that we currently have fulfilled, and then we went in, my team and I, and we just flexed out everything. I wanted to go in, and in order for me to really get to the value of what I deserve, I had to restructure things. Again, I do business development, but I got so caught up in developing other people's business and working with others that I was always working in my business and not working on my business, and that's a huge difference. So when I took out the time to work on my business, the first thing I did was eliminated all the clients who always pay late. I did a SWOT analysis, and I was able to assess and look at what my strengths were, where my weaknesses lied, where my opportunities were, and where my threats were. And once I discovered my threats, I addressed those threats immediately, because those threats, they determine whether or not you will be in business in the next few years if you do not address your threats. I also looked at my strengths, and I didn't focus too much on my weaknesses. I took a look at the weaknesses, but because I am a solutions person, I looked at the weaknesses looking for opportunities to rectify those situations, looking for solutions, right? And so one of the solutions that I came up with dealing with clients that were not paying on time was, okay, I will no longer lend credit, because when you allow someone to sign a contract with you that states that they will pay you $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10,000, and they only do a down payment towards that full payment, you have lend this individual credit. And so when you are lending credit, there's an APR, an annual percentage rate, that needs to be applied to that when you are lending credit. So I said, okay, let me find me a lender to partner with who would be willing to work with me as a consultant and an advisor so that I could rectify this issue of I will no longer close out my books in the red. Going into my second year business, I closed out my books at almost $40,000 in the red. That wasn't happening no more. You know, I've given you my intellectual property. I've given you everything that you need to do the business. And now you've walked away with what you need, and I still have not been fully paid. So I had to address those things. And in addressing that, I found a lender that was willing to partner with me so that clients could receive the financing through the lender. Me and my company would be paid in full up front. They would be responsible for paying the lender. And so in addressing that, I said, okay, I still need to address these people that receive services and they did not pay for them. So the way I addressed that was I found me a collection agency that would work with my consulting firm. And so I had to put my policy in place of what happens if you sign a contract with us and you do not fulfill said contract. Now we come after you with collection letters. I hired a third party that will send you collection letters that allows you to know that if you do not pay us, this information in which, because you It's like theft of services if someone gives you services and you don't fully pay for them. So I allowed them to send them those demand letters for those payments. We can either settle for a smaller amount, but what you will not do is rob me and my team of our gifts and our talents and not pay us. As the leader of this process, I can't allow that to happen anymore, because I need to feed my people. And if they don't pay, you can't feed your people, right? So that was one of the things that we end up addressing. So moving on to that, getting back into the human capital dynamic of making sure that now that I'm building this team process, I don't have someone on my team that's dropping the ball. You know, I'm looking to win championships, and I cannot win championships if I got a bunch of people with butterfingers, excuses, and they just don't do no follow through. I couldn't have that. And so that was the purpose of the system as well. I wanted to be able to give clients the opportunity to go in and see the progress of projects that we are working on for them. They're able to now look and see if we are 15% complete on their project, 25% complete on their project. They're able to take a look and see what items we've begun, what items we have yet to begin. And this is a brand new system that I most recently had built. Because again, remember what I told you about Agile and Salesforce? Those things get very, very expensive. After your 5th team member is added, you are guaranteed to pay about $2,000 a month, okay? So to get your own system built, it's best to do a upfront, one-time $5,000 investment and get the system built, and you're not paying this type of money out anymore. This is a one-time cost, and then of course you have your maintenance fee if you build it on whatever platform that you buy your cPanel through. So this is what I did. And so in this system, I'm probably gonna take my phone down and turn the camera towards my computer and talk you guys through this system that we have right here. So give me 1 second. How do I turn this camera? Okay, here it goes. Okay, so this is my own system that was built. We're able to process invoices. We have the estimates. We have proposal overview. There's a dashboard, our customers, what our sales look like, the subscriptions, expenses, contracts, proposal, task, our support system, the leads that come in, whatever knowledge base, utilities, reports, setup, all of that, right? So I want to show you how through this system you would be able to ticket out certain tasks to your team. This shows you your leads. This right here shows you the statistics by project status. I created this draft one just to show you guys. Tickets awaiting reply by status. Right here, this shows when tickets have been opened. So say, for instance, you hire someone on your team and their job and their task is to make sure that they are managing your social media account, your online account with social media. When you send them that ticket to get started on that task, it tells you that they've opened the ticket. So they see the ticket. They're aware that that task needs to be done, whoever you assigned it to. And then this area deals with account billing, because the individual that has to manage social media should also be responsible for sending out to the client the information to let the client know that the social media has been done, right? And so this right here is our project activity. What happens within the last 24 hours of a project, 20 hours of a project, what all has been done within the 3 months of a project. You're able to do all that. You're able to create your weekly reports, because you need to have your weekly activity reports. Let me move this ring light. Your weekly activity reports showing what's being done weekly on the project. So I'm going to go in right now and I will click on project. Right? So remember, this is an example. This is just a example to show you guys. So this says that we have one project in process, right? And so I'm able to click on here. I can view. All right. Okay. Right here, I'm able to hold discussions with my team. We can create new discussions, and this is within the team dynamic. We can talk about everything within that. I'm also able to do timesheets through here. I can list timesheets. I can show what is not billed, what needs to be billed under the timesheet section. I can add tasks, right? And it'll show, once I send a task to a team member, it lets me know when they started on it, the progression of the task, who it was assigned to, and any tags and things like that. And then this also deals with the priority of, so that the team know what they need to get started on immediately, right? We can add notes into the process as well. We're able to take those, right? Okay. We can add client files. And so right here, you guys see that what we do with our monthly client success plan. And this plan includes all the metrics of what we've accomplished for said client, things that were successful, things that still need to be worked on for said client. Because if you're charging someone a monthly maintenance fee to maintain their business on a month-to-month basis, you should be able to show them what you're working on with specifics. And so with this metric plan, we're able to create a Microsoft Excel worksheet and send the client a detailed outline of everything that we're doing within their business. Okay, let me close this. Okay, and see right here, newest discussions, oldest discussions, any comments, we can add, make attachments. So everybody's on one accord. We're also able to add expenses within here. I'm able to put the expenses for my business in here, as well as expenses that may come up on a client's project. And you guys know how Misha has the subscription service for the VIP in the group. This section right here keeps track of all subscriptions if I was to do subscriptions. I don't have any subscription services as of now, but I wanted it built into my system so when that time comes, we can execute it. And so then we were able to put our customers in here. One of the things I wanted our customer base to understand is that not everyone is a client. So we structured them. We have those people that are actually month-to-month clients, so we consider them our affluent clients. We have those individuals who reach out to us for a service, and they are looking for a specific service, whether they are trying to build a business model, do a business plan, things like that. So those people will not be considered clients. They are service-based clients. They are only here to get a service. And then we have what we call project-based clients, those that are not month-to-month, but we are working a specific project with a project due date and things and tasks we have to execute. So they are in our system as project-based clients. And so you see how this system does, it allows us to enter new customers. If when I needed to import customers from 17 Hats, I was able to import the customers here. And so this is an example setup, so I wanted to show you guys. And so through this, I'm able to send proposals, estimates, invoices, payments to see what payments have been made, what payments still need to be made. Credit notes. Remember what I said earlier about rendering when you are doing project and you are allowing the individual to make payments towards the overall cost of the project. So I wanted this section placed in to see who we had that would be on our books under a credit profile. And so we have two things that we established. We developed the opportunity to receive credit through our lender, And then we also have the opportunity to do in-house credit, which comes with a few requirements that must be met. And so this system, it has allowed us, let me go to this dashboard. I want to go to, I think we have an example of a client thing in here, right? Tanika, what is it under? It's under projects? Okay. Okay, so we're going to say this is an affluent client, right? Of course, we put Miss Melanie's name here. So, see how this system tells us billing type? If we want to bill per project, it'll say project based. If billable hours, it says task hours. The status of the project, it'll have in progress. The date the project was created, the start date, the deadline to have the project completed. And then there's an estimation. I don't want to touch this screen because it's a touch screen. There's an estimation of hours that we've calculated that we're going to spend on the project based on the cost that we've set in place for said project, right? And then this also shows me the total logged hours. So say for instance you have a team member that you have stated to that individual that they are to work 30 hours within a specific project and they need to do it through this system. If they come to you and say, well, I worked my 30 hours, the system will notify you and let you know that no, this individual only logged in 4 times. They were only on the system for 12 hours. And so you pay them, if you are paying them based on project, you're able to see. And so this is also good for those of you who may outsource certain things that need to be done within your projects, because you have those who, you want to do business at a certain level. And so you want to appease your customers. But then when you outsource, you may partner with those who don't deliver according to your standards. And when this happens, you're able to ticket them and place them inside of the project. And even though they may have quoted to you that they want to charge you $900 to do a project with you, when they're not working that project, you can cancel them out and determine the cost at which you will give them for the time that they have put in and remove them so that you don't take a loss. Your client is not dissatisfied with the services, and you can move on and find somebody more effective to work with. And so right here, it shows you, this system will show you the project progress. So this is not a real project, but we set this up so that I can walk you guys through this. So if we was to begin the project, it's going to show us, like I said, 10%, 20%, 35%. And then our client is able to log in and see where we are on her project so that she doesn't feel like, well, I'm waiting around for this and I'm waiting around for that. It will actually give her like a bird's eye view of what is going on with the project. And again, it shows the tasks that have been opened, the days that remain on the project, billable hours, unbilled hours, total expenses, billed expenses. And from here, we're able to take a look. We're able to take a look and see if we are being paid according to value for the work that we're delivering for those clients. And you can add, say the client wants something that goes outside of the scope of service that I mentioned to you guys, you can add a new task, right? And you see this, add new task. Is it a public task or just a billable task? Public means the entire team can see it. A billable task is something that is placed inside of the project and only the client can see it. The client knows what you're charging them per hour for that client, even if you gave them a set rate and say, well, I'm going to do this, that, or whatever for your project. The set fee for that will be $1,500. And then you can break down what that hourly rate would be so that they understand why they have to pay you that amount of money for said project. You can create milestones within the project. There's no milestone because, again, this is not a real project. There's a start date, a due date. The priority, is it low priority, medium? And when with our monthly clients, we set goals, and what we ask the client is what would be a home run for you this month. And once the client tells us what that home run looks like, we create a strategic plan of action that helps the client obtain the home run. And so the home run becomes high priority. If there's paperwork that needs to be done that keep the clients in compliance with the government, then those things are added inside of the project as high priority. There are things that we do for monthly clients that are repetitive. This program allows us to go in and say, is this something we need to take care of every week, every 2 weeks, every month, every 2 months? And then we can customize it as well if we want to. And we can insert checklist templates. So say for instance, I create tasks for my team to do. I can take, what'd you say? Go to which one, Tanika? Exit out of where about? Oh, up here. Okay. So these are all the tasks. This is hi Chrissy. This is a system that I had built. I had this system uniquely built. I had it built and designed because I do business development. I was able to get this based on what I developed for my business. I wanted it designed around my unique needs for my company and the services that we actually provide to our clients. And so, again, like this. So see this is a task summary, right? Things that have not been started. I can see when my team starts on a task. Tasks that are in progress, I can see. And it also tells me who the task was assigned to, what's been done. Are there things that were it will be listed here. Things that we are awaiting feedback, it will be listed here. Things that we've completed will be listed here. And then this full report goes to our client because you want to produce. If everyone in business can automate everything and lead generate everything, then you need to find something that can't be automated, and that is what you need to charge for, because that is how you're going to make your money. Right now, when digital products came out, and digital products are still doing great, but the thing about having digital products with your business, when you are a service-based business and all of your things are downloadable and things of that nature, when you think about the Boston Matrix, your portfolio for your business, right? Your digital products would fall under what we call a cash cow. It's a cash cow, but at the same time, it's a saturated product that has been milked to its entirety. And so it's going to slow up eventually, and it becomes a dog product. And so if everybody's doing it, of course you can do it, but you can't maximize incremental growth for your business by doing what everyone else is doing. And so for me, I wanted to create something that's not being done, that everyone isn't doing, and that would also help me understand who I'm becoming as a business owner, what is going on within my business, and am I charging what I'm worth? Is my company making the kind of profits it needs to make? And are we satisfying our clients with our process? And am I hiring the right people? Those are all questions that I had. And so with those questions, I created things that we aligned as solutions. Now, is there something you want to share, Tanika?
We want to see all the tasks.
So Tanika's showing you guys how you can see all the tasks.
So if you just want to see all tasks for...
Talk a little louder so they can hear you.
Any tasks for any tasks that are open, and even the flow of the whole process of that client. So these are all of the templates that you would open. So let's see if we needed a SWOT for that particular client. Here's the SWOT analysis, as well as, and that's where the SWOT analysis would be. And let's see. And then that way, and actually you're going to see a copy of the SWOT analysis. You can go in and open up the form.
Okay, and is this under here? We can check all of these boxes and send to the client.
Yes.
Okay, and then you see this is, we got our you know, this lady is our number one, I love, public client that we can share Okay, and so we're able to create a client profile under here at our client's birthday, at our clients, everything we need to know that impersonalizes our relationship with our clients, because I believe business is relational and not transactional, right? And then all of the contacts for our client, whether it's contacts that she wants, that we've established for the client to us that she wants aligned with her project and her business, right? These are all notes. And so under the notes section, we add notes from emails. We put all of that. These are all the statements within the process of this client's account. All the invoices, all the payments, any proposals we've sent. If this client applied for credit, which this client doesn't, she pays everything, guys. She would have her credit process here so that she can understand what's going on with her credit account. Any estimates that we've given. If this client was assigned to our subscriptions, which we don't have right now, but again, I had the subscription built into this so that when that bridge comes, I can cross on over to it. These are all the expenses of the client's account, whether that client is monthly or project-based. This is also all the contracts we've ever signed with the client and the client has ever signed with us. We're also under this tab, add any contracts that we may send out on behalf of the client to those that she needs to have contracts with. This is all the projects that this lists all projects that we've done, whether they are complete, current, or upcoming projects. Task, all tickets, whether they're all files, photos, logos, anything. And this is the client's vault. We can lock this and send the client access to the vault. Everybody doesn't have access to the vault. Only the administrator of this account can access the vault. Things within the vault that we lock. Maybe it's the client credit card information. I don't want staff knowing that. So that information will be locked inside of the vault. And then here's reminders. Anything that we need to be reminded of. And we can time these reminders. If it's something we need to be reminded of weekly, it goes off every week. Daily, it goes off every day. This is a map. This shows the location of our client, and it also shows the mapping progress of our client overall, right? This is inside of this system. And with this system, we are able to identify if we are charging what worked when it comes to said projects. And sometimes this type of stuff, it has to be built from scratch. You know exactly what you want in your business, and it has to be built from scratch so that it's effective. And that way, your team is coming in and they're learning your specific services. They're learning your process, your procedure. They're learning the culture of your business. Every corporation has its own system. There are some corporations that are still working from Excel and stuff like that, which is dated, but every company has its own system. And so I wanted this in place because the next thing for me, I like to do things. Okay, what you want to tell them about this?
So this particular, I wanted to really highlight this particular form, which is the success metric. Everything that's done for the client for the month goes on this one form. And so, I mean, from social media, whatever whatever you're doing for the client, it's going to be a succession plan. The project manager has to do assessments, put in their assessment and advisory. Any schedule for the calendar, it's here.
Yeah, we want to know what the client has coming up.
Correct. Anything that the team has action items on, this form, the client can see all of that, as well as the project manager and staff. Social media assessment, client monthly agenda. So anything that has to do with that client's monthly needs is going to go on this one form, and you're going to have your checklist to make sure everything is done. And you can start the timer to see this one person who's going to collect all of that information and have it provided for the client. So it's good to have it's all in one place.
I wanted to show them the log time.
Oh, yeah.
Go back to it.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
And so with that as well, again, open the okay. Yeah. You'll see the recurring tasks, all of that, due dates, priority, the hourly rate that's broken within certain tasks on here. The login time and the total time that was spent on things. Who's all following this project? And how tasks are assigned, the assignee and assigning tasks to, who needs to be assigned tasks. And a lot of files as well. All files and things are added here. So this had to be done because it takes work. However, you got to put this type of work in to start equating value so that you can come out of the rat race of business, and so that you can come off that hamster wheel where it feels like you've been doing all of the right things, but there's no progression. All business requires tracking of activity. You need numbers, you need metrics, you need data. Why do you think there's a U.S. Census? Numbers matter. Tracking your data matters. All that stuff matters. And we're also able to do that in this system with websites, social media, to be able to track the client's success rate with their social media accounts, from how many followers to the engagement to what transpired with lead and what's the click rate on certain things. We keep track of all of that within this system. And so systems are required if you are ever looking to evolve your business. This is something that you cannot get around. You're either going to build your own or you're going to pay someone to use theirs. I advise building your own system because a lot of you amazing ladies are creating things that most of the things you're creating has not yet been done. And that along with it is amazing within itself. But if you ever desire to make business scalable, these are the blueprints. This is the blueprint of what needs to be in place. Whether you use Agiles, Salesforce, or again, you build your own. And so with this, I'm able to get all this stuff done. And so say, for instance, we've been working with a month-to-month client for 6-7 months. And after the 6 or 7 months, we noticed that the value that we're bringing, it supersedes the cost of what we're charging. Then I'm able to draft up a report and propose to the client why we must go up in fees. So I'm able to do all of that from this. And so, yeah, guys, anybody have questions? And it does, Misha. We do development and we also do management. We do brand management. We manage other people's businesses. We do operations management for businesses that are looking to scale and grow and get a few things in place that really need to be in place in order for them to, to do that. That's how we are able to accomplish that. Not only we're crossing over into this certification arena, this is literally how the contracts are handled. So I want my team to learn it on this level. The system is Can You Build Me? And no, seriously, I paid to have this system built. Work with a developer. He and I have partnered, and he built this system for me. Because everything else, I was having a hard time learning it. It was not fulfilling what I needed fully, and it cost too much. And when you're trying to grow your business and your business is doing incremental growth, those expensive systems, that's why they give you like the 30-day trial. They try to bait you in, but those systems are very, very expensive. For a one-time cost, I would encourage you to develop your system from scratch. And if there are those of you that are out there that are looking to develop your own system like this, we would love to work with you to get that done. We would love to work with you to get that done. We're going to have, I'm going to talk with my partner in this. No, it can be, it's not for sale, but it can be developed. We can definitely get it developed for you. We're going to be running a special for Black Friday. I just need to get with my partner and see what that cost would, what kind of cost can we agree upon, because I would love to offer that exclusively to the women of Chicks with Checks. So if Misha is okay with that, I will have a special rate that we can offer to the women of Chicks with Checks, and then we can establish a special rate, Misha, that we can offer to the Chicks with Check VIP. They will get an extra incentive because they are VIP. So if you ladies have any questions, post them in the video. Create a watch party, share the replay or what have you. I currently have a client that has walked into the office, and so I need to get back to work. But I wanted to come on here and share that with you guys. And so also on tomorrow, we are going to go live around this same time, and we'll be in tomorrow, and I'm going to show you ladies how to develop a business model. For those of you that have not developed a business model and you're not operating your business from a specific model, we'll do a mock model. Okay, Tanika, we'll do a mock model. Tanika will be the business owner, and I will show you what that looks like and how that is created. You're so welcome, Sherry. Okay, ladies, later.